Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Small Time Critics podcast. I am excited. So this is our TV episode. So in this one, since we finished Poker Face and The Last of Us, now I'm guessing by popular demand. I don't know. Well, not for the show's popular demand, but still in general, we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian and Succession. And I'm here with the homies, or should I say the homie? You said Hashi, you're right.
I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
I'm having Hashi here. Kem's not here.
Kem's not here. Kem's not here.
Oh, well.
Kem's arriving soon. He's just
Running a bit late.
Yeah, just a little bit.
As usual, you said, Mo. I heard you say as usual.
Yes, you said that, not me. As always, bro. But yeah, Kem will be joining us though. He's just running a little bit late, so he will be popping in. So if you see him walking by, don't be alarmed.
Yeah, cook him, please. Cook him.
Yeah, cook him if you want. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe, guys. Make sure, follow us on the socials, follow the socials and whatnot. Give us the 5 stars on Apple Podcast, Google, Spotify, all of that good stuff. It really helps out. Appreciate it. So like I said, we're going to be talking about Succession and
Mandalorian Succession. We could be talking about Conroe if Kem actually gets here on time.
If Kem makes it on time,
yeah. We may be talking about that.
That was something Kem really wanted us to talk about.
Yeah. Because, Kem, he loves his fantasy. That's his bag. He loves high fantasy. That's his thing, innit? Child of wonder.
You want to cook him so bad.
So bad.
But it's cool. What do you want to start off with, man?
We'll start off with Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yeah. Chat to me about the Mandalorian. How many episodes? Okay, full disclosure, guys. I haven't watched these shows yet. There's so much content, and I just haven't got around to watching them. Yeah, I'll be honest. That's on me.
Yep.
My head's been chewed off by this guy already.
It has been.
For like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to get to it. I just haven't yet. But good thing is we have the Mandalorian and Succession expert here.
Expert,
Perfect. You don't understand how passionate this guy is about these two shows, especially Succession.
Yes.
But you want to start with the Mandalorian.
I'll start with Mandalorian because Mandalorian I think will be a bit more of a quicker discussion for me because...
How far are we in?
We are 5 episodes in.
Season 2.
I believe, yeah.
Season 2,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think 5. Do check for me.
I'll double check while you talk. Go on. So,
with Mandalorian, the first season, as you know, Mo, I was singing from the rooftops about it. Incredible incredible TV series. The first season was really good because obviously it introduced a new character, new concept to the Star Wars kind of universe. And the fact that originally we were calling, I think, the child that we now call Grogu, we called him Baby Yoda.
We're bugging. Season 3. So sorry.
Yeah, we're in season 3, yeah.
I said 2.
Yeah.
Season 3. Sorry. Please, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, season 1 was fantastic. Season 2 was it was a bit spotty at times. I think it's probably a nice way of saying it. And now season 3 it started off well for me personally. I really enjoyed episode 1 and 2. But episode 3, I really didn't like because it was trying to do something that another Star Wars show did, and episode 4 and 5 were okay.
Which Star Wars show? Air it out.
It was trying to do an Andor. Andor was my number 1 TV show from last year, and they tried to do like half an episode, basically like it was Andor kind of thing, like an Andor style, kind of like about what is the effects of war and
could they have pulled it off?
If they gave it a whole episode, maybe, but they kind of gave it like half an episode.
Sure.
And then they went back to The Mandalorian, which is a bit strange.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it is 5 episodes, by the way.
It is 5 episodes. Yeah. So episode 1, we are reintroduced to Din Djarin, the titular Mandalorian. He's trying to obviously go back to his religion in terms of like being a Mandalorian and stuff like that because he took his helmet off this season before in the finale. Because it was the last time he was going to see kind of Grogu, because he was giving him back to the Jedi, which was Luke Skywalker, which you found out at the end of season 2, and it was an amazing reveal. Like the last 2 episodes of last season were incredible, honestly. So that was really amazing to have that ending. And then what was meant to happen is Grogu was meant to then start training with Luke, and then be away from the Mandalorian for a certain amount of time and stuff like that. But then what Star Wars and Lucasfilm did was, in the TV show, The Book of Boba Fett, they basically just put 2 episodes of The Mandalorian in the middle of that TV show and had it where Grogu was having issues training with Luke Skywalker because he wanted to go back to kind of the Mandalorian Din Djarin.
Right.
And in the end, Luke gave him a choice between Yoda's actual lightsaber. You can be a Jedi here, or you can be a Mandalorian, because the Mandalorian Din Djarin brought him some Mandalorian armor made of like their special metal Beskar to where they were training.
Yeah.
And he wasn't allowed to see the baby, and obviously all he wanted to do was see him in it, and he wasn't allowed to. So just give this to him in it. And Luke and Ahsoka Tano, who is a character in a animated TV show from Star Wars called Clone Wars and Rebels, which I don't know if you're aware of.
I know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was in that, and it was her first live action appearance in the Star Wars universe, and the actor playing it was Rosario Dawson. No, don't do that face.
We're fasted, brother.
I know, you're 100% right. I'm just stating a fact, stating a mere fact. Gotta be one of those ones. So yeah, and he had to make a choice. Yeah. And then Grogu made the choice. He took the armor, and he was then returned to Din Djarin in that show.
So is this season 3 we're talking about now? Or is this the end of season 2?
We're talking about the end of season 2 and a bit into another TV show, because the other TV show gives you the background to the start of this show, which is very confusing. And this is why they shouldn't have done this. You know what I mean? And hence why people are having issues with this new season. Season 3. So, season 3 starts with them being together again. So, just imagine if someone's watched The Mandalorian only and didn't watch Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. So,
they've seen the end of season 2, they go apart. And all of a sudden, in season 3, they're back together again. So, it's a bit...
This whole universe thing that everyone's trying to create, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit strange, and like I can see why many people are upset about it. Like, it's completely understandable.
But is this for every fan, or is this for Star Wars fans? Do you know what I mean? Star Wars fans are gonna watch all of them, aren't they? Maybe not. Who knows? Like, I'm not a Star Wars fan like that. That's why I haven't watched these yet.
Yeah. So, for example, if you watch The Mandalorian, like I told you to, yeah, then you would have known. Then you would have like watched the show and you'd be like, oh, season 2 was mad. I can't wait for season 3. Wait a minute. Why are they back together again? It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like nothing happened. Yeah. Kind of thing. So season 3 started with them basically trying to kind of fix the robot that helped them, IG-11, in the end of season 2, and they can't really do that because what Din Djarin wants to do is he wants to go back to his home planet of Mandalore, which was completely destroyed by the Empire. You know what I mean? Kind of thing, and because it's not safe. Because like the air, there's issues with air quality and stuff like that. So he wants a droid to kind of help him kind of test the air out and kind of like explore for him while he's still in the ship. And this is a big thing for Mando, because before he was someone who didn't trust any robots. He didn't trust any droids at all. Yeah. In season 1 and halfway through season 2.
I remember that from so I've seen like the pilot.
Yes.
And I remember that from that episode. So I'll be real, guys. I watched the first ever episode when it first came out, and I just didn't get drawn in.
That's crazy. That first episode was mad how good it was.
You know, I'm not that Star Wars guy. Yeah. I'm just not. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I like the movies. They're cool. I'm just not like a fanatic like that. So
I love Star Wars.
That's why I'm not rushing to these things. You know what I mean? Even though I probably should, because like I've heard Andor is amazing and Mandalorian first season's great.
Andor is just a quick aside in this kind of review. Andor is one of the best TV shows in the last couple of years, bro.
I remember you.
There's a monologue in episode 10.
Yeah.
It'll blow your socks off. You are gonna watch that. I will make sure you watch that. It's an incredible show.
But chat to me. So, what do you like? What are you liking so far about Mando?
I'm liking the aspects of it in terms of like the action, because the action of the show has always been very good in terms of the battles, the fight scenes and stuff like that. There's been loads of aerial battle scenes in this recent series. Like, for example,
not a lot of cut.
Not particularly like cut. More kind of the famous kind of like Star Wars dissolves, where it kind of like dissolves from one side of the screen to the other, and stuff like that. Yeah. But like, he's basically trying to get back to his kind of covert, his kind of like community and stuff like that, and he wants to be redeemed. So his mission is basically he has to go back to his home planet of Mandalore. He has to bathe in the living waters, kind of thing, and then he will be redeemed, because he took his helmet off, and then if he bathes in the waters and he comes back and doesn't take his helmet off again, then he's cool. You know what I'm saying? So he has to bring back proof of that and stuff like that. But then stuff happens where he gets kind of attacked by these monsters, these kind of like creatures that are on the planet, as well as this weird kind of like spider thing and stuff like that. And it's interesting because it's kind of like the monsters that we've seen in Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
You don't seem moved.
the thing is, I'm moved by the fact that I've been moved. I haven't really, to be fair, I haven't really been moved like that. I've just really liked the kind of like the action set pieces and the kind of the further exploration of the lore of Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how like Mandalorians and how these different sects of Mandalorians have kind of had trouble with each other and this kind of like civil war and stuff like that. Because it kind of reminds you of like Christianity, Protestants, Catholics, you know what I mean?
Right.
Islam, Sunni, you know what I mean? Shia, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Because it's interesting to think about that, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain Mandalorians that take their helmet off. It's cool for them. And then there's certain ones that keep it on the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like
it's kind of like, you know what I mean? The kind of thing with like being devout and then people that are a bit more, you know what I mean?
Right.
A bit more secular. It's interesting to think about that. Now, is that a very simple kind of like analysis?
Of
maybe,
course, yeah.
Maybe, but
it's
again,
you
know what I mean? Exactly. It's a kid show at the end of the day kind of thing. And
I wouldn't call it. Is it a kid show?
Yeah.
Really?
If it's on Disney, it's a kid show. You know what I'm saying? There's not really a lot of shows that have adult themes. To be fair, Andor kind of like was on the line.
That's what I was gonna say. And Andor like.
Andor was kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie. Andor, but again, when you have a great writer in Tony Gilroy, who did like Michael Clayton, the Bourne series, stuff like that, you can kind of give him. You know what I mean? You let that guy cook, kind of thing.
Okay.
And then the thing is, then we get to episode 3. Episode 3 was a bit strange because we had Bo-Katan, you know what I mean? Bo-Katan Kryze, who's a character in the kind of animated series, who had kind of like issues with kind of Din Djarin and stuff like that because he took like a very, very special sword in their kind of religion called the Dark Saber, stuff like that. And whoever defeats the person with the Dark Saber can take it, and then they are the leader of the Mandalorians. So right now, apparently, Din Djarin is the quasi-leader of the Mandalorians, stuff like that. But then we had this weird thing where one of the antagonists from the first season, and a bit into this in the second season as well, he has now been put in rehabilitation. He's in a kind of like halfway house because now that the Empire has been defeated, and now that now the Resistance are now in charge. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to rehabilitate all these people that were bad before.
This is now,
yeah. And Dr. Pershing is someone who looks like he wants to kind of like reform, stuff like that. He said he was a doctor who was trying to do the best kind of thing, stuff like that, because he was dealing with cloning, all that kind of stuff. And then there's this other character who is basically saying, so glad that we're out of the tyranny of the Empire. But you kind of get the vibe that she doesn't really think that. And that she's kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
And she gets the guy in trouble in the end of episode 3.
So, okay, before we move on to Succession, do you like the way the season's going? Do you not like the way the season's going? Are you looking forward to the rest of the episodes? What's your level of excitement like right now for Mando?
Episode 4 was like episode 4 and 5 were a bit more adventure compared to the kind of the other 3 episodes.
I'm guessing that's not your flavor.
No, it is. I kind of do like that, and I hope they kind of like lean into that more in it and like introduce more characters and stuff like that and move the story forward in that way. Because I'm kind of sick of the whole kind of we Mandalorians, this is the way kind of thing. We need to move away from the religious component and see them try to like get together and like kind of like not cast the religious aspect aside, but try and do other things in this space.
You want to see them branch out a little bit.
Yeah, because there's a bigger kind of antagonist. The Empire is trying to come back and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And them trying to deal with that and things like that. And that's kind of alluded to at the end of episode 5. So I'll be interested to see that because the main antagonist, Moff Gideon, Giancarlo Esposito, you know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Our guy, doesn't look like he's going to go to The Hague and like go down for, you know, and get tried for his war crimes. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I actually said to me today. He said I should be tried at The Hague because I was late.
He was so... This guy, like, he'll say 5 minutes.
Okay,
anyway.
Okay. So, we're going to leave that there at Mandalorian. We're obviously going to be back to review the next few episodes. I think, in 2 episodes' time, we'll probably be back to review and stuff like that. And we'll keep doing that each time we come in.
Yeah.
But, quickly, let's talk about Succession. So, Succession, what season and how far are we in?
It's season 4, episode 1. We're going to review today. But I just want to speak on just this series in general because, again,
You love this show,
This
innit?
show is so good.
You've been
And
speaking about this for so long.
yeah, initially this show was a bit too slow for me at the start because it took me 2 episodes to get into it. Episode 3 I was like, wow. Episode 3 of the first season was like, yo, I am locked in, let's go. So this is basically a show for the uninitiated like Mo. It's basically a kind of like a riff on Rupert Murdoch and his kind of crazy family. And you know what I mean, Sumner Redstone, that kind of like rich kind of like legacy media kind of family.
And we've seen stuff like that before, but what makes this so good for you?
It's the writing more than anything else, and it's the fact that they've kind of taken a comedic bent to it as well.
I'll be real, yeah. I'll be honest. When I see like you talked to me about Succession for a long time and stuff, right? I purposely avoided trailers, things like that on purpose because I didn't want to be. I just wanted to go in fresh, yeah. But then when I look at pictures and I see these guys in their suits in these office settings and stuff like that, I'm like, is this show really that good? And I know I shouldn't judge it in that way, right? That's why I'm asking, what sets this show apart when it's just about stuff like that? Like, why do I care about these rich people? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why you care about these rich people is because these are horrible, broken people. You know what I mean? Who have such trauma.
I heard that's
you know what
rich people.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, and all these kids are fighting against each other for their dad's love initially in the first couple of seasons. Yeah. And in this season, they come together to basically fight their dad in a way and kind of go against him. And they like there's characters who are just they're so emotionally damaged. Like with Kendall Roy, he's like a kind of this weird kind of like drug addict, you know what I mean? And then there's Shiv, who has herself, she's a bit more kind of like put together, and she's kind of leaning more towards the kind of like the left leaning. She's more left leaning compared to the rest of her family, who are a bit more kind of right wing and stuff like that. Because think of like Rupert Murdoch and how he's a horrible, erroneous human being who's on the far right or on the right kind of side of and stuff like that. He's a Republican, he's a conservative, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, like support and stuff like that in this country. And then you have kind of his oldest son is kind of like just a weird kind of like he's the kind of the child who's the not the problem child, but the child like no one cares about. He's like, we don't talk about Connor. You know what I mean? He's a nobody. He hasn't done anything with his life. You know what I'm saying? He will amount to nothing, stuff like that. He's just a really funny character. And you know, like, and the reason why he's so funny is because he's trying to become president of the United States.
He sounds like he'd be my favorite character.
Yeah, he's one of the funniest characters. Yeah. Then you have Kendall who wants to be the guy. He looks like he could be the guy. And then you have Shiv, who is the female, and Logan doesn't really want her. You know what I mean? And stuff like that to take over and succeed him. Yeah. And then you have Roman Roy, who's the youngest, and he's just a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Like, he has his weird sexual things as well, where he's kind of like, he's just damaged. You know what I mean? And he has such great one-liners. They all do. They have such great one-liners and stuff like that.
So you're saying the writing is really
the writing's really great, and he has this weird kind of like kind of crush on this older woman who works under her under his dad, and it's just so strange. It's so strange, man. It's so weird. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of got like this weird kind of mommy complex. This show is just so crazy in that way. Yeah. And I'm not gonna ruin the end of season 1 because it's so incredible. Yeah. Like, and it's one of those shows where obviously monoculture is kind of like non-existent anymore, because the real only monoculture where we all watch the show at the same time, like Game of Thrones.
Sure.
This show has become that, Mo. And that's how good it is. Yeah. And it's got comedic aspects and it's got drama aspects in terms of like the end of season 1, the end of season 2. It's just incredible. And like,
is it a popular show?
It's such a popular show, Mo.
Is it?
Bro, look at the ratings. Look at how it's talked about. Look online. It's one of the most talked about shows, and like,
I don't see it talked about enough though. That's the thing.
Because you're not looking hard.
Like, I see it talked about, but I don't see it like, I don't know, talked about. You know what I'm trying to say?
This show is so great. Like, it's
like, I don't see people coming in every week being like, oh my god, Succession was like other shows.
Bro, it's got drama. And
maybe
like,
I just follow people that don't watch it.
There you go. It's got drama aspect in terms of, they're making a deal. There's the deadline on making a deal. You know what I mean? Are we going to be able to take them over? You know what I mean?
That stuff is dramatic here in the show.
No, but then there's stuff like
Because when you explain it to me, I'm just like,
they're trying to make deals. They're trying to backstab each other.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy.
Makes
it's
for
crazy.
good drama,
You know
innit?
what I'm saying? Like, there's certain other factions that are trying to take over the company.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Logan gets ill. People are wondering, oh my goodness, the stock price is going down. We need to sell. It's just crazy in that way. And then Logan's just absolutely powering his kids. You know what I mean? At the same time, you know what I mean? Just absolutely taking the piss out of them. But like, there's one part where he absolutely clocks one of the kids and knocks one of their teeth out. It's just madness, bro. This show
Sounds like Empire.
You know what I mean? How's this guy compared to Empire, bro?
I know you said someone got sick. Even Terrence Howard was in that bed, like.
That's hilarious. But this show, like,
But you're enjoying it, yeah.
I'm enjoying it. And so season 4 starts here. Basically, the kids are against her dad. Yeah, they're trying to buy it.
Don't spoil it. Well, you could actually spoil a little bit.
So
but don't,
initially, they're trying to
don't just run through the episode.
Yeah, I won't.
Tell me what you feel and
initially they're trying to basically make their own company. They're going against her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they hear rumblings that the dad's trying to buy another kind of company.
Sure.
Yeah, and they say, oh, maybe we can try jump on that. And then one of the guy that's kind of a bit more switched on business wise, which we found out throughout the show, is Roman. As crazy as he is, he seems like he has a bit more business acumen and a bit more. He looks like he would be more likely to succeed and be the best person to succeed. And he questions both Shiv and Kendall in terms of why they immediately want to drop their quasi-great idea for the 100 to kind of make another kind of media company, kind of basically a new kind of like millennial kind of thing, like not millennial kind of thing. Oh, here he is. Here he.
Look who's here.
Look at him up in the puffin.
Look who's here. All right, Kim.
You right, yeah?
Let's go.
So we're just going through succession. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kim's here, everybody. But
Finally, yeah.
Actually, go ahead, continue.
So, where was I? In terms of like, so they're making their new company 100. Then they drop it. And then they're like, they immediately drop it as soon as they find out, okay, we can buy another company. We can buy the company that our dad wants to buy. Let's kind of spite him and buy it. And then they're kind of like continually trying to, you know what I mean, get up, kind of go up, you know what I mean, like upend their dad and stuff like that. And then there's a whole thing with Shiv's husband, kind of like Tom, and they're kind of dynamic because their marriage is falling apart. And that's how they find out the information that there's issues with the sale in it.
Maybe I'm being a negative Nancy here, yeah. Aren't you tired of like the rich people or pieces of crap kind of
like
thing?
Like eat the rich kind of thing.
But this isn't so much eat the rich, is it? It's more like they're all rich, aren't they?
They're all rich.
Yeah, and I guess they're trying to eat each other. Yeah, so I suppose it is.
Yeah.
But you're not tired of that a little bit? You're not kind of like, same old, same old?
The reason being is because I think it's the proof's in the pudding, and Cam.
They execute well, innit?
They execute so well.
Yeah.
This is the best possible kind of like version of this.
Sure.
And Cam. And the fact that some of the lines in this, and I'll rattle off some of the lines, you know what I mean? And you can be the judge, you know what I'm saying? But basically the episode ends, with the kids basically in principle securing, you know what I mean, the thing that their dad wanted to buy. And their dad basically says, oh, congratulations, you know what I mean, for saying the biggest number in it, you bunch of morons, you bunch of effing morons. That's how the episode ends. And then there's a scene where, there's a part of the episode where, as much as Logan hates his kids, he loves them because he has a birthday party. Kind of similar to the first 2 episodes of the first season and he has a birthday party and none of his kids are there. The only kid that's there is Connor, and he's kind of a bit upset because he only has 1% in the primary to become president, innit? Which is the absolute worst. If you have 1%, it means you're an absolute loser, innit? You know what I'm saying? And he's about to spend another 100 million on his campaign, even though he's got 1%. He's not going to make it anywhere. You know what I mean?
Kanye had more than 1%.
I'm not too sure. Maybe he did. You know what I mean?
Do you know if Kanye had more than 1%?
Hey, listen, I'm trying to catch up already.
Listen, you're going to have to rattle those lines next time because we're running out of time. Do you want to do closing thoughts?
I just want to talk about one scene.
Quickly,
one scene and do closing thoughts. So there's a scene in a diner that he takes his security guard, his security guard is a guy that kind of does all the, you know what I mean? Yeah. He does the dark arts. Okay. All the stuff, you know what I mean? All the bad stuff Logan he's done, he'll get it done. And he takes him to a diner. He talks about, he basically does like a Shakespeare Hamlet. He goes, what is a man? You know what I mean? Stuff like this. You know what I mean? What are people? You know what I mean? and all this kind of stuff. And then you can see he's a bit rattled and a bit like upset that his kids didn't come to his birthday party. You know what I mean? And even his there's a scene where his assistant basically calls the kids and says, "It'd be good if you call your dad," and basically, you know. And then they take the piss out of her and say, you know what I mean, get our dad's dick out your mouth and all this kind of stuff, all this kind of mad stuff, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And again, that's all part of the comedy of the show and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Let me just quickly jump in and get my 2 cents in.
Go
on. Based on what you're saying, obviously I'm trying to catch up because Succession. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get on board with it. And it's funny what you're talking about there because obviously I'm early in.
Yeah.
And the dad was very like, don't want no one to turn up, or not even that, like get them, I don't want them in front of the elevator, I don't want them so close. And it was very standoffish from what I'm watching. Yeah. So it's almost like it's come full circle.
I wouldn't.
In regards to like birthdays and sort of celebrations.
Yeah.
Because obviously, okay, I'm not good with the names because I'd say I'm early in.
Yeah.
Young boy who's very keen and he wants to take over. He wants
Kendall,
dads to recognize.
Kendall,
yeah. Obviously, what I'm watching, he's not in a good space because obviously he's prepped everything and he's almost like he's seeking for approval, yet he's almost like he wants to do it on his own, but he doesn't know the direction that his dad's going to give him.
Exactly.
But again, so it's funny why you're saying that because what you're saying is a full circle compared to what I'm watching now.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you'll understand the more you watch and stuff like that, like how good the show will be, then becomes, and then is right now. You know what I'm saying? And like, let me just quickly just rattle off some lines in it so we can kind of move on. And
you get to rattle 2.
Listen,
we're pressed for time, brother. Pick your 2 best.
Okay. Basically, there's a scene where
he's nervous. He doesn't know what to pick
because I'm gonna be rattled off a lot. So his ex-wife, Marsha, who basically they become divorced in the show. I think a character asks like where she is basically, and one character goes, "Marsha's shopping in Milan forever." You know what I mean? Because of the divorce settlement.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A great character called Greg. You know what I mean? Young boy, which you saw. They, you know what I mean? Greg the egg. He brings like a date in it to he brings a date to the birthday party, and then the assistant goes, "Who's that? Bridget?" And he goes, "Bridget," in it, or "Bridget random fuck," you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And then
these are so rude.
They're so rude. Oh my days!
I feel like I'm not gonna like any of the characters.
This is so.
Have you seen any Successions?
Nah, I just feel like I'm gonna hate them all.
You know what? I started watching it and I was like, it's not my bag. It's not my bag at all.
Really?
Yeah. I went on a bit more. And yes, I see the humor. Yes, I see it. It's very sort of it's stale, yet very punchy, and it is good humor.
Sure.
It is good humor.
So you see the appeal.
I see the appeal.
But Kevin, what did I say? Episode 1 and 2, slow. Episode 3, hook, line, and sinker.
Exactly what I said to you. It's kind of slow for me. But then what sort of wrote me back in was when like he's almost like having a little tantrum. Is it Kendall?
Yeah. He's
having a tantrum because he's not getting his way and it's not going how he thought it was good. And he's almost thinking like, what I could see, this woman is like sort of poisoning my dad, and he's taking it away because he's like, it's almost like when the dad says, "Look, okay, she's gonna have I need you lot to sign these signatures. She's gonna have a stake," and also the first thing the first thing he says is like, "What? She has 2 votes," so he doesn't care about anything else, and he's almost like the phrase that he uses is like, "Oh, so how long you gonna stay for until you die or something like that?" And then one of the siblings has to sort of remind him that no, it doesn't have to die for him to sort of. So he's almost like, you want him out of the way.
Yeah.
Where I am.
Yeah.
So again, I think I'm getting the appeal, but I'm not hook, line, and sinker yet. So
I guess we'll see how you feel when you finish season 1.
Yeah.
But Haji, you got anything else to say quickly?
There's a scene where there's
the last one. There's
a quick line where I think so basically the guy that's kind of securing the deal in it for this legacy company ahead of the dad. He's a guy called Telos, and he's apparently like a Harvard guy, a smart guy. And then Roman goes, "Oh wow," you know what I mean? "Oh, it's so amazing, like how, you know what I mean, your great kind of Harvard business school, you know what I mean? It's so, you know what I mean, it's so impressive kind of thing." And all he's doing is just saying numbers and stuff like that. And you know what I mean?
Oh, he's just sarcastic. Like
he's just being sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate these guys. I can tell already.
You know what I mean? But it's just funny to watch them.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It makes sense.
You know what I mean? So,
That was our review of Succession and the Mandalorian so far. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Say hi to Kem as well.
say hi
in the
to him.
comments,
He's
you know
finally
what
here.
I'm
Finally,
saying? Well,
You know
Kem.
what? For the sake of harmony, I'm not gonna say something. When camera cuts off, I'm gonna have a word. I'm gonna have words.
Why? Why?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Listen,
We should have put something in Kem's seat
yeah,
should-
yeah.
in place of him.
No, it's fine.
like
You-
a sign, Mr. Late or something. Like I don't know.
Did I do my like, comment, subscribes?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Did I not do it?
No, do it again. Why not?
Like, comment, subscribes, guys. Just do it again, innit?
It's a great show. Please watch it.
5-star and everything. And yeah, go watch the shows and stuff if you want to get in on the reviews properly and know what we're actually talking about. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon. Peace.